Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Today we are doing a really nice relaxed video where we look at some stories from Reddit that have at least one or more updates to them. So we're going to kind of like get a whole little saga going on here. We're going to see people's responses, we're going to see OP re-respond. It should just be fun and interesting. And I'm going to record a few of these voiceover videos today, so I'll have plenty to post throughout December for you guys. I should hopefully be back to making regular on-camera videos again soon. I've had some really good news about Kyra's health recently. Basically her medication is working. She's not seeming to have any more seizures. All of her levels the blood tests have told us have come back as like normal and average and safe, which is really good. So yeah, it's just about kind of still monitoring now and just hoping for the best. But she's in a really good place, and you might be able to hear her snoring in the background. She's feeling herself, she's looking herself, and she's just coped with it all really well, and I'm so proud of her. So without further ado, let's jump into some of these posts. The first one we are going to be looking at was posted in October 2025, so that's this year. And it was originally titled to True Off My Chest, with the title, "My friend's fiancé has been mocking me for years. I finally snapped, and now I feel like I'm the problem." I compiled these stories and screenshots quite a while ago, like before Kyra got ill, and I've not had a chance to film this yet, so I barely remember any of these. So we are going to be, basically, I'm going to be rediscovering them along with you and just reacting in real time. For the past 9 years, I've been part of a very tight-knit group. My best friend, her fiancé, and my fiancé. We've always done everything together. Holidays, birthdays, travelling, board games nights. I even work at the same company as my friend. We met in a different company, and she followed me to the new one. We're even planning to buy land and live near each other. Not anymore, but they don't know this yet. Initial reaction here. This sounds like it could be nice. Also sounds like you're verging on codependency, which could be an issue, you know? But her fiancé has always mocked me. Things like, "Wow, what a fat bum. You look like crap. Stupid." Over the years, his comments have made me cry more times than I can count. I brought it up with them many times. My friend has tried to talk some sense into him and made him apologise a few times, but the conclusion is always the same. That's just how he is. He jokes and teases everyone. He likes when something interesting is happening. Ooh. That's a bad one, isn't it? The thing is, he directs it at me the most because I'm the perfect target. I actually react, unlike my friend who doesn't care. He makes me feel inadequate in the worst way. I feel so bad in my own skin when I see myself through his eyes. Yeah, I'm on this person's side completely. This is absolutely horrible. This man sounds like nothing but a bully. This is disgusting behaviour from an adult. Like, I get teasing your friends, that's fine. Everyone has different types of humour and like things that they react to, and we have a friend in my writing group who, he's going to hate me for saying this, bless him. But this is the thing. He's in on the joke. He laughs along with us. This is fine. His name is Andy, and he looks a little bit like Andrew Tate. But this Andy is like the loveliest, sweetest, nicest man you'll ever meet. So when we make Andrew Tate jokes to him, like, it's not because we actually think he's an awful person or a misogynist or he's been trafficking women. It's because like he's so completely the opposite of Andrew Tate. They just happen to look a little bit similar, and have the name Andy. Like that's it. So I feel like anyone on the outside hearing that might be like, "Oh God, like why are you comparing a friend to Andrew Tate?" And I'm like, but the joke in there is that like we love and respect our Andy so much, and we know he's such a good guy. That's where the humour comes from. If your humour is just "I'm insulting you and you're upset by it, ha ha ha," that's not funny anymore. That's not nice at all. Like if our Andy said, "Hey, you know, I'm actually a little bit uncomfortable with this now. Can you stop?" We'd stop, because that's what you do, right? If you don't stop and you carry on, when you've been explicitly told it's making someone uncomfortable, then you're just a bully, you know? I understand misreading social cues and, you know, thinking you're making... Like, I did it when I was a teenager. I joined in on what I thought was a joke between friends, and it ended up upsetting someone, and to this day I still feel terrible about it because I completely misread the social cues. I thought I was just joining in with a group of friends. I didn't know this person was actually upset, and the minute I found out they were upset, I was like, crap, I'm in the wrong. And obviously, like, you stop, you try and make it better, but I still feel bad about it to this day, you know? And that was just like one incident, like, wait, how old am I now? So like 20 years ago. The fact that this guy's been told over and over just makes him sound like a piece of crap and a bully, and yeah, absolutely awful. And why why is your friend still with him? Like, if my partner was bullying one of my friends, I would be like, what the hell? Like, no, get out of my life. You know what I mean? Anyway, I tried everything they told me to do. Laugh it off, ignore it, pretend it doesn't hurt. I didn't want to cause drama, and honestly, I was afraid of losing them. They're my only close friends. There you go. So you've got that codependency thing going on. They're your only close friends, your only network. Like, but no. Having no friends is better than having bad friends. 2 weeks ago, we went on a workation together, and as usual, he wouldn't let me fully relax and enjoy myself. But this time, I couldn't swallow it anymore. I was already in a really bad place emotionally and physically. I'm tapering off psych meds that numbed me for over 2 years. Without them, I feel everything 100 times more intensely. His mocking and jokes feel like a knife twisted in my heart. On top of that, I had awful nausea and brain zaps and dizziness every day. Oh, when I, forget to take my sertraline or something like that, I get that, and it's horrific. Still, I pushed through. I went on hikes, I cooked dinner, I made breakfast a couple of times. They knew how sick I felt. This poor person. I don't know if they're a man or a woman at this point, but this is a horrible thing to go through. This poor person. Just that alone, without having to deal with a bully of a supposed friend, you know. But he just kept going as usual. He called me a loser because I hesitated to walk too close to the campfire. I was dizzy and afraid I would lose my balance. A perfectly reasonable fear, yeah. In the car after a hike, he complained that my friend was the one looking at restaurants as usual, not me, even though it's untrue. I reminded them that I can't look at my phone in the car without getting sick, and he just said, yeah, same as the rest of us. But it's not the same as the rest of you. She's literally ill. She's dealing with a medication withdrawal. Later, when we got home, all I wanted to do was lie down and relax, and he jokingly threw out, you never do anything, because I hadn't cleaned the pans from the dinner I'd cooked for everyone. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's just bullying. It's literally this guy and his fiancée have gaslit her into thinking, oh, they're just jokes, when they're not. It's just him bullying her, and they've tricked her into thinking it's just humour. This poor person. Sorry, I'm saying her because I'm putting myself in these shoes, but again, I don't know the gender, sorry. Could be a him. That's when I snapped. I told him how much his comment hurt me, how invisible I feel, and he barely listened and literally laughed in my face. My friend overheard everything from upstairs. Instead of supporting me, she said it was funny to listen to us fighting over dirty pans. Get a new friend. But by then, it wasn't about dishes anymore. It was about everything. I raised my voice from sheer frustration, and instead of trying to understand me, they both dismissed me. I felt like I was losing my mind. Oh, this poor person. This is a terrible, terrible friend. You need a new friend. You need more new friends than just one. God. But you need to cut this person out of your life. I ended up walking outside crying, really crying, for the first time in years. Only my fiancé followed me out, hugged me, and told me we could just leave. So the next morning, we packed up and went home. They were in shock. Okay, question here. Good on the fiancé for, having her back, taking her home. But where were they this entire time? Why were they not saying anything? Why were they not standing up for you? After that, I finally realised how different we really are. I'm naturally sensitive, maybe too much. They're the opposite. We're not compatible. I always feel like I have to hide my true emotions so I don't ruin their good mood or fun. No. You're not naturally sensitive. You're a human being with feelings, and that is okay. You're not too sensitive. What they're doing is bullying you. And having emotions, feeling sad, upset, angry, embarrassed in response to that is a normal response. It doesn't mean you're too sensitive. I had this for years. I had I would date these men who would cheat on me and mock me and disrespect me and call me names and, just make me feel like I was inadequate in every possible way. And when I was upset about it, they would tell me I was too sensitive, I was too emotional, I was too jealous, I was too blah, 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 blah. And it took me until I was in my very late 20s before I was I went through a lot of therapy to be oh, actually, I'm not too sensitive. They're just bad people. They were treating me badly and my responses were normal. It literally took me sitting with a therapist and going, yeah, and then this situation happened and this. And one example, one of the last things that pushed me to go see a therapist was I'd been dating this guy and I thought he was wonderful, thought he was perfect, and looking back he absolutely did love bomb me quite a bit in the beginning, but I found out a little while in that he was still following his ex's OnlyFans account and all the sexual content that she was posting online and on social media. He was following it and viewing it and liking it and that sort of thing. And I was like, what the hell? And I confronted him about this. He's like, you're being too sensitive. No one else cares. And I'm like, well, I care. And then that's when it came out that he'd been lying to me about a whole bunch of things, about like sleeping with his friends, and how, oh, she's just a friend, wasn't just a friend, and all this sort of thing. And he made me feel like I was crazy, and I had this absolutely like massive breakdown, and I was an absolute mess, and I was, like, tried to hurt myself really badly, and I was in an absolute state. And that's what prompted me to go to therapy. And I went in there and I said to Susan, my therapist, I was like, why am I like this? Why am I overly sensitive? Why am I crazy and jealous? And, how do I fix this? And she literally just sat there and went, I would react exactly the same as you. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, from what you've said and his behavior towards you, and the lies and the cheating and the dismissal of your boundaries, and the way he was like, she said that he was gaslighting me. She called him a narcissist, and she was like, I obviously can't diagnose, but it sounds like a narcissist. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, I think any reasonable person in that situation would react the exact same way. And I was like, oh. And I realized that maybe I'm not too sensitive. Maybe I was just putting up with so much terrible behavior towards me and letting it build up, and then I was snapping. So I learned that I don't have to put up with that stuff. And if I kind of have this sort of zero tolerance policy towards it and get myself out of those bad situations and allow myself to leave those situations, that was the thing that I wasn't doing. I felt I had to stay and put up with it because there's something wrong with me. I learned that like once I say no to that kind of behavior, I'm not putting up with it. Turns out I'm not actually that emotional. I'm not actually that sensitive. I'm not like, I haven't hurt myself at this point in like 2 years, which is incredible. And I'm so damn proud of myself. I think it's 2 years, like nearly 2 years, and stuff like that. And like, I don't know the last time I actually got angry. Like, I was discussing this with the guy I'm dating the other night, when I was saying like, yeah, I remember I used to feel angry like quite a lot, and like now I don't know the last time I was angry. And I was thinking about like the last time I cried and stuff, and obviously I've cried a lot recently with Kyra being ill. But that aside, the most I really cry at these days is like, TV finales and stuff like that. Or books, or I am emotional. I'm a crier like that. But like, they're cathartic cries. They're like, oh, I've really enjoyed this thing and it's ending. Or, I'm worried about Kyra's health. I'm having to cry at this. So there was no crying at other people treating me badly, because I just don't let them do that anymore. Sorry, I've gone on a tangent. I've made this about me. It's just actually quite cathartic to like have a chat about this and get it out. Let me know your experiences in the comments as well, if you've been in a similar place. But to bring it back to the original point, like I was trying to with this poster on Reddit, I don't think they're being too sensitive. I think they've just been around people who treated them badly so much, and they've internalized it all so much that of course they're going to be emotional. It doesn't make them too sensitive. They are reacting in a perfectly normal way, I think. It's not a healthy way, because the way that they're being treated isn't healthy, but it's normal. I don't see how many other people would react differently, But enough about me. Let's read the post again. I tried to talk to my friend about it afterwards. She said there was no way she could have listened or comforted me that night because I raised my voice. She hates conflict and drama, so when someone shows strong negative emotions, she shuts down. Oh, I have things to say. And she always defends him, claims he isn't and will never be an emotional person. She repeats I shouldn't take his words to heart because he treats me like a sister. So the message is always the same. I'm the one who should change. I should ignore him, toughen up, stop caring so much. That's not who I am. This is a terrible friend. This is an awful, awful, awful friend. And I always find the people who say like, oh, I don't want drama. Oh, I'm trying to avoid drama. Like, they're the ones who just want to be able to get away with treating people badly and not face any consequences for it, Like, if you actually care about the people you're around, like, have this open, honest communication with them. You should be able to say, hey, actually, I felt a little bit uncomfortable with that. Can we maybe address this, or like change how we speak to each other? Or, because everyone messes up sometimes. Everyone will say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, but in a really good, healthy relationship or friendship or, anything really, like, But in a really good, healthy relationship, whether that's romantic or platonic or familial or whatever, like in a really healthy relationship, you should be able to communicate about these things and voice your feelings and have them heard and acknowledged and respected. You know, this is not respecting her feelings. This is a terrible friend. And I actually love this question that the opening poster asked here. And honestly, why is he allowed to just be himself, but I'm the one who has to change? At this point, I don't even think we're real friends anymore. I have started seeing a therapist, but I just feel so tired, sad, and confused. I'm still scared of losing them, but maybe that would be a good thing. And good on this person for noticing this and acknowledging this and realizing, why should he be able to just get away with being himself, apparently, but you have to change? That is not fair at all. Love this. There was an edit and an update which said, didn't expect to get this smooth responses, thank you, blah, blah. You've given me comfort and much to think about. To answer some of the reoccurring questions, my fiancé has defended me many times, love that. He called out his behaviour, insulted him but softly, even had a sit down with him once. But none of this has ever had any lasting effect. My fiancé is gentle by nature and doesn't like confrontation. He often suggested we make a change, but I was always too afraid of losing my friend. As for why I've been friends with him for so long, it's not like this all the time. They have many good qualities too. We share a passion for similar things: books, video games, travelling, cycling, trekking. We had a lot of fun together over the years, many good memories. They make me laugh, but almost all of these memories are tainted by moments of hurt, which I have been ignoring for the sake of keeping the peace, but I don't want to do that anymore. This sounds just like a typical abusive relationship. People always ask, why did you stay? It's because there are good moments, you know? There's these moments where you feel loved and treasured and you have fun together, and that's what keeps you in that abusive situation. It's what makes you keep coming back, you know? I'm just really proud of this person for realizing that this behavior isn't normal and that you don't have to put up with all the crap and the bullying and abuse just to have the good moments. You can have the good moments with other friends, with real friends, with good people, you know, without all the abuse and bullying. A couple of comments and replies. Commenter 1 said, your fiancé's friend is a bully. Okay, never mind. They got it the wrong way on. Same thing. They're a bully, straight up. Even kids know that if you make a joke at someone's expense and they categorically tell you it hurts them, then the only acceptable response is an apology. Yes, thank you. Your friend sucks bum too. If my partner did half the crap hers did, I'd be on his bum to either change his behaviour or it's over. Whether he was acting like that towards a stranger or someone close to me. The fact that she just expects you to put up with it is gross. You're not being overly sensitive, you're at your wit's end. Yeah, that's exactly what we said, right? OP responded with thank you. I think she can't imagine how this makes me feel, and perhaps she's more like him than I realised. Just recently she revealed that she used to say what's on her mind to people, and it didn't even cross her mind that someone could be hurt by her words. She stopped doing that after a year of therapy, but it's pretty telling. Wow, that is concerning. How the hell do you lack that much empathy? Commenter 2 replied, tight-knit friend group? Nope. True friends would never allow one of them to be bullied or insulted continuously. Time to block them all and find real friends. Exactly this. OP said, deep down, I know all of you are right. They are not true friends. I am going to distance myself from them, but as to finding new friends, that feels impossible. I really don't know how. I find it hard to connect people. Completely understand where they're coming from here. Finding new friends, especially as an adult, is really hard, but it's not impossible. There's absolutely ways of doing it. For me, I've met some amazing people going to my writing group. I shoot a lot of gigs and live music, and through that I meet a lot of musicians and sound techs and other photographers, and some of those people have become really, really good friends to me, you know? The biggest thing you can do is just put yourself out there and try and meet people and introduce yourself and get to know them and follow your hobbies and passions and get out into the real world and do that stuff, and connect with other people who love that stuff too. It is difficult and it's scary, and it might take you a while to find your people that you fit in with and get on with and who get you, but it is possible. It absolutely is. Commenter 3 said, I'm sorry, but these aren't the actions of friends. Exactly. That's gone past the point of playful banter and into just straight up high school bullying. Friends shouldn't be making friends feel like crap. even if he is just the type of person to playfully rib people, although from your descriptions of what he said, he's way past the point of playful ribbing. As soon as he found out that it was getting to you, he should have stopped. Exactly. He's a piece of crap for treating you like that, and your friend isn't any better. She's excusing it for the benefit of a quiet life for herself. She's okay with you being made to feel like crap, but isn't okay with you standing up for yourself? You don't need people like that in your life. I'm sorry that happened to you. You're not too sensitive. They're just bumholes. Comment to 4 said, also, if it's just about the dishes, why didn't they clean up after you cooked? Why is that your problem when you cooked while feeling bad? And why is it okay for them to make fun of you for making sure you don't fall into the fire when they know you're off balance? Yeah, exactly. Like, if I knew one of my friends was ill, I'd be like, oh God, like, what can I do to make this better for you? How do I, like, ease your burden? How do I, is there anything you need? Do you need, because that's what you do with people you care about. I've gone to stay with my friend Daisy a few times, and like when I've had, I have like uterus issues and stuff, and when I've had like terrible pain and I've been in an absolute mess, like immediately she's been like, okay, let me like get you snacks, let me get you heating pads for your tummy, let me get you painkillers, let me get you a drink, let me get you this, and I'm like, I love you so much, thank you. Because even though like I'm there to see her and hang out with her and that sort of thing, she knows if I'm not feeling well, she's just like, I'm looking after you. I'm doing everything I can to look after you. And that's what a good friend does. They take your health and your well-being into account, and they care. They want to make you feel better. Mocking you for having withdrawal from some pretty serious medication is not what a good friend does. That's horrific. This commenter went on to say, was this trip your idea with how you're feeling? I'm surprised you want to do that. Just wondered if you were pressured into going to split costs and do a little of the cooking and cleaning. I hope the trips are generally shared work, but the mention of cooking and them expecting you to clean makes me wonder. And OP responded with, the trip was planned and paid for months in advance, plus I didn't know I would be feeling this bad after the withdrawal. My friend and fiancé cook and clean as well, so I want to do my part too. Okay. Commenter 5 said, she's not your friend. If I heard my husband once mock a friend or family member, that would be the last time he would do that. Do yourself a favour and stop being friends with them. I wonder how he treats her when nobody is around. Great point. Very good point there. OP said, I was thinking about this the other day. If the roles were reversed, I would leave my fiancé immediately. He does mock her often, but as I've mentioned, she doesn't really mind, and he treats her like a princess most of the time. I'm beginning to suspect she likes that he is a bad boy that treats her sweetly. Ugh, it's not healthy, is it? Absolutely. You know what I think we need to do with like young people? And call me crazy, but I think like it would be a really good part of like education and teaching kids social skills to show them like this is what a healthy relationship looks like. This is what, because I think we do it with friendship a lot, I remember in school we would have like circle time where we would sit around and like share our feelings and talk about things that had happened to us and like resolve conflicts and things like that. And a big part of it was like, we'd sometimes read books on like how to be a good friend and this is how friends behave and that sort of thing. And I feel like as kids get older and get into their teen years, it would be really good to like have more education focused on, and I don't know, maybe they do this today. I've been out of school for a long, long time. But to have like more education focused around showing like, hey, this is what a healthy romantic relationship can look like. This is what, good communication is. This is what a good, solid friendship is. This is what a healthy, like all healthy relationships, I think it would be good to like teach and model them to young people, Healthy relationships with your bosses, your co-workers, your family members, like showing, this is what good community, because I never had anything like that as a teenager, and I really, really struggled, especially being autistic. And because I was undiagnosed, I didn't know like what a healthy relationship was. I'd never seen it. So I didn't know how to be in a relationship, and so I put up with a lot of crap and a lot of unhealthy behavior and a lot of people treating me badly because I thought, well, that's just what everyone does. That's what I've seen. That's what, like, if I'd had people like as a teenager sit me down and be like, oh, your partner shouldn't do this, this, and this. Your partner should respect you, and you can talk to each other this way, and this is how you resolve conflict. And if you feel this and this, they're red flags, and you might be in an abusive situation. Like, if I'd been told that, I might have avoided a lot of pain in my life. And I just think that's something worth thinking about. Anyway, off topic again. There were a couple more questions and answers here. Does the friend's fiancé insult her as well? He actually does insult her a lot. He's rude by nature. They used to fight a lot, but she seems okay with it nowadays. Or she's just resigned herself to his abusive crap. This is what happens when you're in an abusive relationship. Seriously. Commenter 6 said, how would he react if you spoke to him back this way? Probably like a big effing baby. Uppy said, I have tried this strategy too many times, but my mocking doesn't affect him in the slightest. If it transforms into a heated argument, my friend goes quiet, so I often back down to avoid hurting her. Did OP grow up in a toxic environment because of her tolerance for abuse? OP says, yeah, I did actually. My father had anger issues and constantly belittled my mother and brother. He was gentle with me, but I was burned a few times too. That I can relate to. That was something I had to work through a hell of a lot in therapy. And if you've read my first book, I actually have a poem about that and the cycles of abuse. Actually, I haven't done this in a while, but if you would like me to read a poem to you, I can do that. Let me go get my book. So this is a poem from my first little collection called Reflections on Healing, which is a short collection of poems and photos. And this is a poem called Heroes, which is about, going through the cycle of abuse and experiencing it as a child and then as an adult and realizing, you've just kind of been taught this is how men act and this is how men are, and that's why you keep putting up with the abuse. And it was this realization for me that kind of helped me start to break the cycle. So for me, this was the turning point. So this is called Heroes. I envied Saturday morning cartoon heroes. Batfink and his wings a shield of steel, or Williams wish Wellingtons wishing him away. Roadrunner's speed and Superman's flight, and Batman's strength to fight for what's right. I envied them. The last time he hit me was with a tennis racket round the head, and seeing stars I lay on grass while birds flew overhead, circling and frenzied. Just like the cartoons, each week was like the last, yet each a little different. But I soon learned I couldn't just jump straight back up like the heroes I envied. That day, the last day, I thought back to each time his hand would swap my flesh so hard it would pulse, and the skin would raise and swell and smart in the shape of his adult palm. I never grew my wings of steel, or learnt what justice really was. The bruises fade, but never heal, and maybe that's why I still feel helpless. 15 years or more have passed, and I find myself once more laying on a dirty floor, wishing for Batman to burst through the door or drop in from the shadows above as I let another man bruise and beat and batter me. Because, for all I know, that's just how men love. So that's always an emotive one to read. It's tough. It was a tough one to write, but like all the poems in this collection, it was very healing for me. It was very cathartic to get it all out there and work through a lot of those big feelings, and that's the thing. And that was the thing. I realised that because I'd always been around these angry men and abusive men and men who didn't respect women, it becomes so normalised to me, and I didn't realise that it wasn't okay what was happening to me. And it was when I kind of came to that realisation that, oh, I don't have to put up with this. I can break this cycle. I can get out of here. That was when my life changed and got better, you know? There was an update on this post on November 3rd, 2025, so just about a month ago now. Update, I finally ended the draining friendship I wrote about last month. Oh, good on this person. Love this for them. To anyone who might still be curious, this is an update to my friend's fiancé has been mocking me for years. I finally snapped and now I feel like I'm the problem. I have officially ended things with my friend and her fiancé. I took all of your advice to heart, talked to my therapist, and did a lot of self-reflecting. But the thing that really convinced me to do it was this. I didn't see them for over a month, barely messaged them, and it was the most peaceful month I'd had in years. I didn't miss them at all. I felt calm and alive. I felt almost happy. Recently, I attended a work team building event for the first time without my friend, and it was amazing. I never had this much fun on previous events. I talked to people, laughed, socialised, and people wanted to talk to me too. 2 guys said they wished they'd gotten to know me sooner, that I'm a great person. It was shocking how much at peace I felt when I didn't have to perform or manage her feelings and worry about her discomfort. She disliked these events and the work people. Yesterday, I told her the truth, that I'd been feeling better ever since I distanced myself from them. She got defensive and hurt and blamed me for saying such a hurtful thing, said goodbye, and then blocked me. I feel bad about that. The old guilt and people pleasing instinct has kicked in, but I know I did the right thing. I just want to thank everyone who gave me advice in the original post. And this is, I'm so happy for them. So happy. That's fantastic. A couple of comments here. The first one says, oh no, she understands what hurt feelings are. Good for you. Toxic friends like this suck the fun out of life. Update me when her fiancé tries to talk some crap. Oates said he actually wanted to come over tomorrow to collect his games, but my fiancé told him he will drop these over at a mutual friend's place. He would have talked crap for sure. Second commenter said, I'd also block her back everywhere you might have her so that she can't control communication with you, and block her partner too. Have your partner block both of them too, and then go live your best life without them dragging you down. Oh, I love that. That's such a happy ending, and I'm so happy for this person for getting out of there. That's wonderful. Love that. Okay, this was quite a long one. I've ranted quite a lot, and we've had some little personal discussions. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, or if you've had any similar experiences down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for listening and watching if you've watched. I'm probably going to put some gameplay behind this. Again, I've been playing a lot of Dave the Diver recently, which is really cute. Obviously, I wouldn't normally be into a fishing game and the whole because I think fishing is pretty cruel in the real world. But it's cute in the context of the game, and I quite like collecting the fish. I'm liking the sea people story. I'm liking the little making recipes at the sushi restaurant. I'm finding it really fun, and it's relaxing, it's cozy. I'm liking this, so I'll probably use that gameplay footage. In other exciting news, I'm finally getting on top of all the concerts that I've shot and photographed this year. So if you want to see all of my concert photography from this year, you can go follow me over on Instagram at Rachel Oates with a 0, because my name was taken and I'm annoying like that. And it's really fun. I've had a wonderful year. I photographed some amazing bands. I got to see Chapel Roan and I didn't have my proper camera with me. I just had my little Fuji. But I got some really gorgeous photos of her, which are over on my Instagram account. I've seen Franz Ferdinand, Scouting for Girls, Pulp, which was fantastic. I photographed all of them. It's just, it's been absolutely wonderful. And I'm finally kind of getting on top of posting my last lots of photos. So I'm trying to try and get them out before the end of the year. And so if you want to go follow me, you can see all of them, plus little life updates, and I share stuff on my stories and everything like that. So it'd be really lovely to have you over there if you want to join me. If you'd like to help support my channel, then I do have a Patreon that you can join for as little as, I think it's like $1 or £1 a month, something like that. And every little really does help, and everything goes back into my channel and my work, and just helping me survive day to day, and putting more content out there for you guys. And while I'm still working through my issues with merch and trying to find a new supplier that I like and trust, there are other things you can get. So I have a little print store over on my website, which is just racheloates.uk. And over there you can buy prints of some of my photography, and I think I've got a few art prints on there as well, although again that needs updating, but I've got some new photographs on there. So if you like cute animals, you will love the new prints I put out. They're absolutely gorgeous. I'm so proud of them, and I love those photos. So there are ways you can support my channel if you want, but otherwise just you watching and being here is really helpful, and I appreciate you so much. So yeah, thank you for your time today, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.